Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Phantom. Before we jump into the price action, just want to say thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the content, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Okay, so we're going to talk about a few things within this video, but before we get into sort of the micro movements here, what I want to talk about is just a general overview of what I'm looking for. I'm still looking for that possibility of having a fifth wave down here, potentially to this zone of this 1415 area to this 0912 zone. So this is still possible at this time. It depends how we want to look at this move to the upside. Potentially, we could also argue that we have completed further back here, and this could be the start of a more bullish move to the upside here. So we're going to discuss both these options and potentially some things that we are looking out for here. If we were looking for this to actually be completed further back here, we'd have to argue that this was a fourth wave into this high, and then basically we had just a really short fifth wave. So these things do sometimes happen. They're not very common, but we will have to just see how it goes. It still needs to prove itself, in my opinion, until we actually start to break this possibility of having this as a C wave. What I want to see here is basically see this move away from this zone. Until it does, we need to just be a little bit cautious. So we're going to discuss that bearish potential first. So we can talk about this in a few ways. So we can either argue that this move to the upside, I don't really like looking at it like this, but you could potentially argue that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this whole move is a fifth wave. I don't really like that idea. um what I'm looking out for more is rather that potentially we still have a fourth wave and a fifth wave here, or alternatively we are looking at this as a fourth wave here and potentially a truncation. So we're going to have to keep an eye on it and see what the waves are telling us. If we have, however, completed into this high point here, what we need to be careful of is, well, both of these can sort of follow the same idea. What I'm looking for here is the potential that we could see. So if we truncated and we ended here, then basically I'd be just looking at this first internal move here, which would be looking at the possibility that all of this is a wave one and that we're looking to set a wave two in this zone. So it's going to be important here, if we are looking at this possibility, that we need to get back above this 5182 and take this high of this 4950. Until we do, we need to just be cautious that this could still continue to break down. So we're going to talk about this within the bullish count as well. There is a way we could still have another low down to come here. So what we need to be cautious of is, even if we do form something like this as an A wave, we come back down for a B wave, and we push up one more time for a C wave, we need to be cautious that really until we actually take this 59.50, we could still see a sell-off to the downside here. And if that did manage to move past the 1619 region, effectively what we would be looking for then would be looking for that potential of an additional fourth and a fifth wave, which could look to take us down to that 1462 to that 1243. So within this, basically, we'd have to monitor what happens next after reaching this low, because that would take us right into that zone of that fifth wave. So we'd have to see then whether we actually get another three wave move up and this comes into play, where we actually complete it into this high, and then we have this as a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, and then basically one more fifth wave, which could look to push us down lower one more time, potentially towards this 1198 to this 0959. So this isn't confirmed, and this would be invalidated by crossing above this 5950. We just need to be careful. There is potentially a five wave move developing here, so we need to see whether this actually starts to break down deeper. We're going to go over that now, though. So that is looking at that bearish standpoint. So basically, there's two ways that I've been looking at this move, and what I'm looking for is that possibility that within here we've got either something like this playing out, where we have this fourth wave still into this low. The key thing within this structure, though, would be that we need to actually move to the upside here, and what we'd want to do is basically continue to hold this low point of this 30.99, and what I'd be looking for within this to confirm it would be basically something like this. So we're going to go over the internals of this, and then we'll discuss some of the other possibilities. Basically, let me come into the hourly here and just flick this on here. So what I'm looking for within the structure is basically Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this as a five-wave move into this high. So if this is the case, potentially what we could then be having is we could either have this. So at the moment, we don't have a confirmed fifth wave here. We have this as a one, two, three. So we've only got a three-wave move. However, it is right in the rejection zone for a fourth wave. So I'm waiting to see whether we get a five-wave move down here into this zone of this 36.83 to this 35.51. If we do break down here into this zone, basically what we'd have to look out for is then whether we actually get this as an A wave, then we get a B wave up, and then we get a C wave to the downside. If we do move up past this zone here of this 45.60, potentially this C wave becomes less probable, but really it would only be invalidated by taking this high again at this 48.50. So we'd have to be careful, especially if we form a five wave move here. It wouldn't really fit into the count, besides being an A wave or a wave one to the downside. So that's what I'm just looking out for. We don't have this fifth wave though. So the other thing I'm just being mindful of is we could have something like this in here, where this is a one, two, three, four, and a five as a diagonal. We have this as a wave two, and then potentially we could actually look to push to the upside. Yeah, so out of this move, if we just form another move to the upside here towards this 42.99, effectively all we would have is three-wave structure then. However, if we do actually get a bigger move up here towards this 45.61, this would invalidate that fourth and fifth wave to the downside because we would have crossed that wave one high. So I actually need to move that down there. Basically, what I'm looking out for is if we do move up past this red line at 43.26, potentially we invalidate this additional fifth wave here, and then all we would have is a three-wave move. It would still be possible that we could see this play out as an A, B, and a C up here, and take out this zone of this 43.26, potentially even move up to this area, but then look to break down. So it's going to be key. If we do actually move up to this 45.60, what I want to see is basically this be a 1, 2, we'd look to move up into this zone, and then we'd be looking for evidence of that fourth and a fifth wave. If this does play out, then effectively we could be looking to start this next leg of the move to the upside. But until we actually break back up here, we need to be cautious until we take this high that we could actually still look to break down. We're right in the rejection zone, and potentially we could look for this fifth wave. Like I said, if we do get that fifth wave, potentially what we'll have to look out for is this is a three-wave move up, and then potentially like looking for another five-wave move down towards this zone of this 32.81 at a 1-to-1. Depending on how high this B wave comes, will affect the target range of this. But really, we wouldn't want to lose this 786 of this 34.05. A wick down through it is fine, but we wouldn't really want to like break down underneath here and start consolidating, because that would indicate that we're potentially going to actually take this low and lose this 30 cent 41 area. So we need to be cautious on that. So what I'll be looking out for is that if we do fail to actually develop this fifth wave down here, potentially, and we start to break to the upside here and invalidate this fifth wave, either, like I said, we can still look for that possibility of coming back into this zone. But if we do start to break to the upside, what I'll be looking for is whether we can actually manage to move up towards this zone here of this 80 cent 20. If we do move up towards this 80 cent 20, 80 cent 20, basically what we could then have here is an additional third wave. We'd look for a fourth and a fifth, which could actually look to bring us up to that fifth wave target here towards this 95.87 to this 85.84. Like I said, this is all hinging on holding these key support zones and staying above this 30 cent 41. If we lose that, then basically that downside continuation would be still in play. And basically what we'd be looking for is, even if we do move up here one more time, if we only move towards the 60 cent range and potentially target out these highs, we could actually look for that continuation to the downside to play out from that end. So now, talking about that continuation, I'm going to show you where that would be within this count. So if we did continue down, it would invalidate this fourth wave. And basically what we'd be looking for then is that possibly either we have something like this playing out, where we have this as a truncation into this high here. And basically within this structure, what this would indicate is that within this, we've actually completed this fifth wave here and truncated. And then what we'd be looking for is that this would be potentially an A, B, well, actually, this would be an A wave down. potentially forming this B wave. So it's going to be key that if we're looking for bullish bias here, we need to get above this 5182. We need to take this high. Until we do, we need to be aware that there is that possibility. This move could technically do something like this as an A. We come back down for a B and a C, and then potentially we still look to break down towards this zone of this 2477. However, we need to be careful. Like I said, we've got potentially a 5-wave move here. If we do form a 5-wave move down, we need to see how we react. If we can't get back above this high, we could start to actually break down deeper and then finish this move in a C wave to the downside here, potentially to this zone of this 2477. So this is what I'm just keeping an eye on. If we start to lose that 786 area and we lose this low, potentially we could be heading down to this 2477 if it is a corrective pattern, but we need to be careful of that bearish alternative where we could actually look to break down deeper towards the 1636. So keep an eye on that if we do move down. So what we want to see here is support come in this box area if we do move down one more time. I've got this channel here, and potentially we could see this as an A, a B, and then we come down one more time for a C wave, potentially target out the bottom of this channel. Alternatively, if we are looking at this in the other sense where we actually look to complete into this high, basically what we'd be looking at is that this is an ABC for an A wave. We have this as an ABC for a B wave, and then potentially we could look to break down. So the difference is here, what would be the difference would be that effectively this target zone slightly higher. 55, 51 is the high end of this. So, potentially we could see this as an A, a B, a C, then we come back down one more time after that. So we're going to have to let it play out really until we take this high again. We need to be cautious. There are many different ways of looking at this. We could look at it as an impulse starting to the downside, or potentially we've completed into here even, and then this is another one. This is basically a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we look to break down. There is quite a few options that are, it's quite vague at the moment. If we form a 5-wave move up from here, then we can start to say with a bit more certainty that perhaps we have a bottom in here, and that we could actually look to a bigger structure to develop here. However, until we actually get a nice clean structure here, we need to just be cautious that this doesn't actually start to break down and lose these key zones. Really, once we start to lose this 2211 zone, it becomes less likely. I would say, if we lose this 1938, that would probably be our line in the sand where we would be at that point thinking that this is potentially going to hit a new low here. And potentially at that point, we could actually see good structure for a bigger impulse to the downside. So as long as we maintain this zone, we could look for a potential move up towards this $1.11 if it's just going to be an A, a B, and a C, so a 3-wave move. Or alternatively, if it does move higher up towards this zone here of this $2.47 area, potentially we could be looking at a bigger 5-wave structure where this becomes a 1. This move here becomes a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5-wave, 5th wave to the upside. And basically, that would then confirm that we have a low in here. Until we do, we don't have confirmation. We have got a good, nice, strong move here, which is a good indication of that, potentially this could be starting to show some strength, but sometimes these things will have these strong moves and then still roll over. So we need to get that confirmation. And that comes by finding support, whether it is here or whether we form another low into this zone and potentially target out some of this lower area here, this 2797 to this 2211 area. It doesn't really matter. What we need to do is hold this zone. Once we start to lose this, like I said, it becomes less probable we have that extension to the upside playing out. So, yeah, I mean, in the immediate short term, what I'm looking out for is basically just looking at this internal here. I want to see whether we actually manage to hold this zone and maintain this bullish possibility of starting a move from here, which would be maintaining this zone of this 34.05. Even if we do move up here one more time and we come back down, potentially we could move through this, but as long as it's sort of just a move down and then back up, then we could still look at it as a possible, B wave here or wave 2. Once we start to lose this zone, this it becomes less likely we're going to get that continuation. But really, invalidation is only at the 30.41. So this is what I'm looking for at the moment. If this does break down here and we do get a fifth, we need to watch this support, this rejection zone here, this 45.60 to this 41.97. If we fail to hold this zone, basically, then this could actually start to become messy here, where this, like I said, could become a 1-2, then we break down for a 3. But yeah, that's only really confirmed by this 27.44. So keep an eye on these zones. We're right in the rejection area. If we do get that breakdown, then we'd be anticipating another 5-wave move. If we fail to achieve this fifth wave here and we move back above this red line, then potentially we could either be starting this next move to the upside here, or this could just be an A, a B, a C, and then we come down one more time still and look to actually target this lower box and potentially this 50% line of this channel, just sitting around this 34.70-ish region below us. So keep an eye on that. Everyone, I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below. And also in the description, you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. As well as that, you'll find affiliate links for PrimeXBT and BYBIT down there. Both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. Check them out for yourself. They really are great exchanges. Using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone, have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.